Hey everyone, it's 10 Types, and the CU, which is the Common Uncommon Cup expanded format in Pokemon TCG Live, has been really fun for me so far. Not gonna lie, a lot of the decks I see are not super strong, but there are some really fun ideas for this format, and I want to go over some, especially if you're not sure what you want to build, and if you're not so familiar with the older cards. This is going over Pokemon. I think there's a few trainers here as well. But ultimately, there's not too much to say about those, but there's some really cool Pokemon in this format. I'm going to be going over a lot. I just literally, I think, went through all these and picked out the ones that I thought were interesting, though I certainly missed some. But tell me down below also what you've been playing for this format, if you've been playing it. If not, I'd recommend you try it out. I actually made one video already where I played a deck with Swanna and some stuff. I think that deck is here, so I will talk about it. But some really cool cards, some really cool attacking Pokemon, build around Pokemon that aren't attackers, and then engine cards as well. But I'm just going to go in order here. The first card is Claydol. Claydol is a really that's not like super weird, but it's kind of weird. It has an ability that says you can only use it if you have no supporters in your discard, which is pretty hard to use because presumably you want supporters in your deck, and then they'll end up in the discard. So you can't really play any supporters. There is the supporter card Grant, which you can use here, and that's about it. So you can't play any supporters, then you accelerate a fighting energy from your discard to one of your Pokemon. Honestly, not sure what to pair this with attacking wise, but it's a cool ability. I believe that the Stonjourner, which is meant to be paired with, you can't play. It's not even that strong. I don't know to spell it. Oh no, it looks like you can play. So this one does do. It does 190 for 3 on a basic, which is it's all right. Definitely a kind of fun deck. I'll actually pop that in this list. So again, definitely would. I don't know if I'd definitely recommend it, but it is a really fun card, really unique deck building, and we'll go over some engines as well as we go through this, so you can kind of get some ideas of what you want, though none of them are great. There's Rabsca. This is bench barrier. I believe you cannot play Manaphy or anything like that. So unfortunately, you don't have regular bench barrier, but you do have a stage 1 bench barrier. And there's Grovyle. This is a stage 1 search Pokemon, and I do not have the Grotle here, but you search for a grass Pokemon every turn. This is a really solid search, and so if you are looking for a grass engine, it's pretty good. We'll talk about Festival Lead, which is another deck as well, but this is interesting if you're playing a grass deck that's not Festival Lead. Definitely really interesting to consider. There is also the Grotle as well. So then we have Tatsugiri. This is a card that lets you search for supporter cards, or not search, but you look at the top 6 and get a supporter card there. It's a really good card. I have not played it in the format yet, but I think it's worthwhile as a potential inclusion in a lot of different decks. Then we have Rotom. Rotom is a Pokemon. This one's really fun. I also have Cast Form. And they're like kind of the same. Cast Form attacks for free if you have 8 or more stadiums in your discard, and Rotom attacks for free if you have 9 or more tools in the discard. There's a bunch of them. They do some different things. They're not like super crazy interesting, and they're not insanely strong. They're decently strong, but then obviously they're kind of awkward to set up. HP wise, they're not strong really either. But they are Buddy Pop and searchable, which is kind of fun. Also, all the Cast Forms have free retreat, which is like kind of funny. Then we have Hurum, the next card. I kind of want to play a deck with Hurum. Comment down below if you want to see this and how to power it up. I'm not really sure. I had the idea to do it with Lost Zone, but you don't have like really any of the Lost Zone stuff. You can kind of sort of do it, but it's really awkward. Regardless, you have the ability Plasma Bane, which lets you attack easier for free essentially, or for just one colorless. If your opponent has a card in their discard with Colress in its name, but that's not super common, especially with the supporter card itself, Colress, not being in the format. But then you have Trifrost here for Water, Metal colorless, which discards all energy from this Pokemon, and it does 1 10 to 3 points Pokemon, and without good bench barrier. This Kyurem is a really interesting card that, again, I kind of want to try out, but not really sure how to do it. But there are some pretty funny cards in the format. Flaffy is an energy acceleration option, which accelerates a lightning from your discard to one of your bench Pokemon. It's honestly kind of like the Claydol. It's a little worse because it can't accelerate active, but also you can blaze supporters, so it's actually a lot better. This is definitely a card that you could build a box deck around. Another engine card we have here is Drizzile. Drizzile searches for a stage or for any trainer on play from hand, so a really solid trainer option. I think Scoop of Net you can't play. Oh wait, no, Scoop Net's banned anyway, so you can't play that at all. But there are kind of ways to use it. You can't use any Inteleons as far as I'm aware. You can't use the good Inteleons I know. Um, Yeah, looks like you can't use any of them, but it is still a decent engine card. We also have Munchlax. This is a control card. I don't really have many control cards on this list. This isn't exclusively control, but it can be used for control. And what it does is you coin flip. You flip a coin, you end your turn, regardless of the coin flip outcome. And then if heads, you recover a card from your discard, put it on top of your deck, and it also has free retreat. This is the old version of Baby Pokemon. It's a kind of interesting card. If you want to play control, it is a really cool card. I might try it. We will see. Not 100% sure. Again, if people do want me to play this, comment that down below because it could be fun or it could be not fun. I'm not really sure. Then I have Kricketune. This actually might be the weirdest card. Honestly, one of the weirdest cards I've ever seen. Because I mean, look at how much text it has. But you have the attack improvisational performance for one grass, which does 30 plus. So it does 30, but if you have exactly one card in your hand, it does a 130. If you have exactly three cards in your hand, it does 30 and confusion. And if you have exactly six cards in your hand, it does 30 benched, 30 to all Pokemon, to all their bench Pokemon, plus obviously the 30 active. This is really weird. Not really sure how to play it. Getting your hand up to six is like, 30 to all is like kind of good, but not like broken. But it is pretty good. But again, it's kind of hard to use. Getting down to one is more doable, but it's not like insane that way. And then of course the three cards in hand isn't that much better than just having two or whatever, because you do confusion, which is like okay. I mean it's a bit better I guess than just doing 30, but it's obviously not that good. It is theoretically versatile, but like getting one card in hand versus getting six cards in hand is a big difference in deck building in general. I'll talk about that a little, how to like change hand size and with a different engine later on. Yeah, which is I'll talk about it now actually, which is the Dracoloak engine, letting you look at the top two, put one to your hand, put the other on the bottom. There's also Pidgeotto, which I don't have here. It's like the same as Dracoloak, but like worse, honestly. However, Dracoloak is a card that is a really, really solid engine. It's the one I've played with so far, and I do like it. As an engine, it is not bad by any means. I think there's also Kirlia. I don't even think I have Kirlia on this list. Kirlia is also good, but I personally like Dracoloak maybe a little more. I don't know. Kirlia's discard one, draw two, which is also pretty good. Then the next card I have on the list is the Cragnole. This is another like control, but more like pseudo control card. It's kind of like Badoo. It does for one water. It does 10 in item lock, and it has more HP than Badoo, which is like the really meaningful thing. There, of course, is also Badoo, which I guess isn't on this list, but that is a good card. We also have Mad Party and United Wings, and these are pretty solid decks, right? You do Mad Party's 20 for each Mad Party Pokemon in your discard pile. Mad Party isn't a Pokemon with the Mad Party attack. I don't think you can play all of them, but I think you can play three of them. Realistically, United Wings I think is just a little bit better, though they are pretty similar. But Bunnelby is a Pokemon that is fine. The United Wings ones, though, have, I think, more HP in general and are slightly easier to attack with, though, again, it's not that big of a difference. You also have some type coverage with the United Wings Pokemon, but they are cool, in my opinion, both of them. When you have Uxie, Uxie is a Pokemon that does 20 or places 2 damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon. This can be countered by Wait, no, I don't think you can actually play Jirachi. Anyways, people presumably won't be playing it, but Uxie is a spread Pokemon that can be pretty nasty to deal with, so definitely a card to consider. There was also Dusclops. I don't think that's here on this list, but it is a card that you can use to do bench damage or place bench damage counters to pair with Uxie, and there are other options as well, of course. Then you have Charjabug. Charjabug is really weird because there are some vehicles you can play, and this is I mean, it's like a Pokemon, obviously, but it's actually like not really a Pokemon. It's a special energy you attach from your hand, and this does not count as your attachment for the turn. And then you can just attach it to a Vikavolt or Vikavolt GX. It's a really weird card. Is it strong? It's not like super strong. The Vikavolts aren't that good. I guess Charjabug's good. It's a really weird card. Theoretically, you can move it around, but I don't really know how to do that. I think there's a special energy moving card, but I don't think it's very good. So this is definitely an interesting card, though, allowing you to I do some interesting things, I guess. It's really unique. Galarian Meowth is here. I wish Duskull was here, but Galarian Meowth is pretty similar. Duskull's like banned because it's broken. I would actually break the format if it was not banned, even in this U Cup expanded format. But this lets you discard 2 cards from your hand. It does search for a Galarian Berserker, which is like fine, but it discards 2 cards from your hand, which is really nice for certain combos. So this can be used, for example, we saw Castform. Oh, I need to actually probably talk about Uncommon Fossil about that because he loves Castform. I think Castform's kind of cool, but he also likes Galarian Meowth, and I also like Galarian Meowth a lot, so I'll mention that. And then it can be used for like Kricketune improvisational dance or Flaaffy energy in the discard. Lots of different things. It's not super great, like it's not the strongest card, but it's all right and it's kind of fun to play with. when you have Galarian Zigzagoon on play as a basic, you ping one of your opponent's Pokemon 10. It is from hand, so you can't buddy popping for it to get the value of the ability, but you can use it with Quick Ball. You can't use it with Nest Ball, but you can use it with Ultra Ball, right? You got different options here. It's a pretty interesting card. It's not insane, but it is all right. Lucario is actually an attacking Pokemon that really caught my eye. This card's pretty good in GLC, and it does 150 for one fighting on a stage 1. If one of your fighting Pokemon was knocked out last round, otherwise it just does 30 for one fighting, which is kind of weak. You have another attack, but it's also pretty weak. But Avenging Knuckle can be really good, and you can kind of just build around this theoretically. Not sure if it would necessarily be good enough, but it does not seem bad either. Then we have Pidove. Pidove is a really interesting Pokemon with the ability Emergency Evolution, which pretty much everyone, when they saw this, they said that there was going to be an Unpheasant EX because it like references that, but it looks like there's not going to be. Wait a second. No, I think there might be in the last set actually. Anyways, the last set is in the mini set Black Bolt / White Flare, which is 2 sets. Regardless, this ability says once during your turn, if this Pokemon's remaining HP is 30 or less, you may search your deck for an Unpheasant or Unpheasant EX and put it on this Pidove to evolve it, then shuffle your deck. This can be done turn 1. You can get the damage on a number of different ways. This Pokemon evolves into, again, Unpheasant. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I don't really care. And so there are a couple. This one's okay. Definitely one I kind of want to try out. There is a reversal, or no, there's reversal energy. There are double energies for this first attack, and then there are also triple energies. There's triple acceleration energy. There's also another card that's like triple acceleration energy coming out with Black Bolt / White Flare. So we'll mention that here, but definitely an interesting card combo there. I actually want to check. I don't think you can play. Can you play Dodrio? No, you cannot play Dodrio or Spiritomb, unfortunately. But just want to check that. But regardless, you have I have the Unpheasant right here. Then there's Finneon, which can accelerate to Pokemon with Swim freely. It's like not super good, but I figured I'd mention it. It's kind of funny. It's like a Hydro Pump, accelerate lots of energy type of Pokemon. You have Magneton, knock yourself out, accelerate 3 lightning from your discard. Obviously, we talked about Flaffy, which is energy acceleration, which doesn't knock yourself out, which is probably better, but this can lead to some pretty crazy combo-y things. Then we have Seviper, which does 30 it does extra poison damage between turns, which is nice. It does 1 extra, and you can play 4 of this. I believe Pekarunt is I don't even know what rarity Pekarunt is. Looks like it's rare. It's like a promo as well, which is like kind of different. But anyways, you can't do that. But there are ways to get extra poison. You could get turn 1 wins as well, I'm pretty sure, theoretically. You have Maractus as well. I'm not sure how to power this one up, but you can accelerate up. You can theoretically accelerate a bunch of energy. Then you flip a coin for each energy attached to Pokemon, 60 per heads, which is pretty cool. It's a really fun card. And there's Glimwood Tangle to reflip. Then you have Ambipom as well. This is the same attack, but it's colorless, which is better, and you have the ability Primate Dexterity, which says if damage is done to this Pokemon, you flip a coin if heads prevent that damage, so that could be, a really coin flip based deck. Seismitoad is a stage 2 you can play. There's not that many, but there are some. This one's okay. Its ability in the active says your opponent's attacks cost 1 colorless more, which could be really nasty to deal with. An Echoed Voice for 2 water does 120, but next turn does 220. 120 is not bad. 220 is really good. It doesn't do more than that. It'll do 220, it does 120, then 220, then 220, then 220, and so on until you get knocked out. Then you're back to 120. Also, if your opponent plays Boss's Orders, which they kind of want to do, or something like that, like Escape Rope, then your damage will be reset. So keep that in mind. But regardless, Seismitoad is really disruptive, or it's pretty disruptive and pretty strong. I have not messed with this, but this does seem pretty solid. Then we have Koraidon for ancient stuff. Not too much to break down here. We do have the Hitmons, which are here. I actually have no idea what order these cards are in anymore, because I'm sure I added the Hitmons together. But Hitmonchan has Hit and Run, which says 30. Switches to the bench, not insane, but it's all right. I will also mention, there's the Togedemaru combo. I don't have the Togedemaru combo here. I don't remember. It's like pretty similar. It's kind of weird. I'll actually pull that one up after. But Hitmonchan does 30 Hit and Run. Hitmonlee does 90 Snipe. If you used hit and run last turn with Hitmonchan, and then Hitmontop does 60 to each of your opponent's Pokemon if you used the special combo, the one on the Hitmonlee last turn. So pretty interesting there. Togedemaru here, this one does on a coin flip a coin of heads. You take, if you're knocked out, then your opponent doesn't take a prize for knocking you out, and it does 10. Could be paired with Glimwood Tangle, so I might actually try this deck out because I've not played it because it's bad. Right? It's not good, but it could be good here in this format. And then we have the what's the next one? Dedenne, I think, is the next one. I don't know these off the top of my head. Yeah, it is, I think. Yeah, so then you can use Dead Short, which does 16 paralysis. It's not insane, but it's okay. Then the last one is there's a Pikachu. Pikachu, I believe, does 200 or 220. Yeah, it does 200 if you use if you use Dede Short with the Dende last turn, and you could also use the Morpeko. This one does, I believe, I think it's the same as the Hitmonlee. Yeah, it does 60 to each of your opponent's Pokemon if you used, again, the Dende. So it's not a 4-card combo, it's a 3-card combo. Figured I'd mention it as well. They're kind of weird, kind of wacky. The fighting type Pokemon are just kind of better in general because I think there's more buffs. I don't know. Technically you can hit different weaknesses with lightning ones, but like don't do that. And then they have more HP, which is cool. And then I do have Badoo here. Why is Badoo? I definitely added Badoo at the beginning. Live's deck ordering is really weird. Oh, I found the Vikavolt as well that I mentioned earlier. Then we have some Lost Zone stuff. I have Nado here, which does 20 for each Pokemon in your Lost Zone, except Prism Stars, which aren't in this anyway, so that doesn't matter. Not really sure if there's anything behind this. Obviously, 40 HP is kind of bad. There's some other Lost March Pokemon, but they're also like not very strong. So this is interesting. I don't think it's good enough, but it is kind of fun. Lilligant can boost damage. I will mention this one. If you are playing Festival Lead, which I've seen the most of, I think it might be the best deck in the format, though I'm not sure if it clearly is. But you do 20 more with your Grass or Fire Pokemon's attacks. And of course, with Festival Lead, you attack twice, so you get it doubled, which is really useful. Then you have Fan Rotom, a solid search and attacking Pokemon. You have Great Tusk for Mill, which is could be used as a mill card or could be used within Agent Box. Or wait, can you use Roaring Moon? Actually, I don't think you can use Roaring Moon. You could still do a wait a second. Can you use Sada's? I actually don't know. Yeah, you can use Sada's. So you can do Roaring Moon theoretically, or no, you can do what's it called? Great Tusk. Yeah, there we go. You can do Great Tusk if you really wanted to. Would I recommend it? Not really, but it could be okay. There was also Durant. I don't think you have Durant on this list. It's like kind of like Great Tusk. Yeah. Then we have Farigiraf. This card has Wonderful Rumble, which for 2 colors does 40 for each of your Stage 1 Pokemon in play. This card's not bad. It's like okay. It's fine. It's not spectacular, but it's all right. Next, we have Rowlet. Rowlet's a really fun card, which is paired with Birdkeeper, and this allows you to do 60 snipe to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon not active. It is 3 colors normally, but if you play Birdkeeper, it attacks for free. It's a fun card. It's a strong card. It's not that strong, but it's okay, and it is really fun, and it's not bad either. Then we have Venusaur that doubles Grass Energy attached to all your Pokemon. This one's interesting. You could pair this with Maractus. Oh, you could do Maractus, Gardenia's Vigor Venusaur. This is kind of interesting. Not insane. I don't know how good Maractus actually is, but it seems funny. We found another Castform. Oh, we got the Shuckle. This one's, I don't know why I put this card here. Again, I was going through cards and picking out interesting ones. This one can do some like interesting discarding combo-y stuff, but it's not great. Heatmore can do 90 active and 180 snipe, which sounds broken, which I guess if it was cheap it would be, but it's 6 energy, so not really sure how you get the energy on. But if you can, it's really strong. Again, we have the Vikavolt, we have Thwackey, and yeah, Dipplin here with Festival Lead, allowing you to attack twice, and I believe we have Festival Grounds here as well. I don't know why I have Guzma and Iono. They're good. I guess that's why they're here. But yeah, I got those going on. But yeah, you can use Festival Lead and Festival Grounds and whatever the ability. Yeah, Boom Boom Groove on the Thwackey, which is pretty good, allowing you to search the deck for any card every turn. And you can do this for each Thwackey you have, unlike Pidgeot EX, so you cannot do it for each Pidgeot EX you have. And this is an ability that only works, though, if you have a Pokemon with Festival Lead and you're active. I will actually mention Swim Freely. There is a Pokemon with Festival Lead that evolves into the Pokemon with Swim Freely. You can do that deck. I've actually talked about that deck on the channel maybe multiple times, having dedicated videos. I think it would just had one dedicated video, but I'm not sure. But that is an interesting combo there. But regardless, obviously Festival Lead's really good. You can attack twice. Festival Lead actually is kind of like the Dragapult of the Trainer Trials is what it feels like. Because attacking twice is really good when your Pokemon don't have that much HP and you can take one-shots twice. You're taking 2 prizes and really disrupting their Pokemon by knocking out multiple Pokemon. It's really strong. Then we have the Clefairy. Clefairy is a really interesting card as well. This one I might try out, we'll see. But you have the ability of Moonwatching Party. Moonwatching Party says if this Pokemon is in the active, you can search for a Psychic Energy and attach 1 to each of your bench Clefairy, and then you can like switch them out using switching effects. And then you do 20 for each Psychic Energy attached to all your Pokemon. It's a really interesting combo. It's pretty strong, but like in terms of HP, it's not strong. And obviously it's not like super versatile, but it is a pretty fun deck to play. Yeah, and there is this Clefable which can copy attacks, which I have here, which is kind of fun. I will also mention Lunatone Solrock. Solrock accelerates the Psychic to one of your bench, or to one of your Lunatone in play, and Psychics from the discard. The Lunatone does 30 for each Psychic energy attached to this Pokemon. Honestly, this deck plays pretty similarly to the Clefairy deck. I did play them in Standard quite a while ago by now, and yeah, they're kind of fun. They're not my type of thing, but they were kind of cool. Then we have the Marowak, and there's a Cubone, which is here. Oh, I don't own the Cubone. Apparently, Marowak does 60, but it's 120 if any of your damage, if any of your benched Cubone have damage counters on them. It can be used for 2 colors, which is very payable here. And then Cubone here, it says, as long as it's on your bench, attacks used by your Marowak do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. Not sure why it's as long as it's on your bench, because if it's in your active, then Marowak's not in your active, but regardless, you have this ability to increase your damage. You can get the damage counters on relatively easily, as I said, with something else. I don't remember what card it was earlier, but regardless, you can do that. I don't know how good it is. It's like a little committal, or not necessarily committal, but like a little combo we set up be for like solid but not insane output. It can be a lot of damage, which is cool, but you don't need to be doing like 300 damage. I don't think you do 300, but you can certainly be doing 200 there. It is cool. Then we have Metang for Metal Energy Acceleration. Not my personal favorite, but I know a lot of people like this card. Getting metal from the top of the deck is pretty nice. Then you have Simisage. I don't know if I have the other ones here, but this attacks for free if you have Simisear and Simipour in play. Or no, sorry, just for 1 colorless, but that's easier. Then Arm Thrust Needle is actually a really good attack here. This is legitimately a card that I think is underrated in Standard. I don't think it's super good, but I think it's all right for Grass Colorless, or again for 1 colorless if you have the 3 in play, which is kind of awkward. You do 100, and then you're immune to damage next turn by Pokemon with an ability, apparently except for Simisage, so you don't get locked in a mirror stall situation, which would realistically never happen, but definitely a really interesting attack here, and there are probably some others like this, but this one is legitimately, I think, pretty good. I do have Trumbeak, this Lost Zones itself, which is like cool, I guess, for Lost Zone stuff. If Snorlax, this recovers leftovers, which heal. Like, I haven't, oh, I found the Simipour. And I think I don't have the fire one, the Simisear, for whatever reason. But anyway, Snorlax is a card that recovers leftovers. There are some cool things you can do. I don't have them here, but you could do that. Oh, okay. So I just realized something, but I'll say that in a second. But yeah, you can recover leftovers. It's like kind of cool. Not like necessarily insane, but it's kind of cool. A Simipour, by the way, does do 50 and then 30 to 30 spread, and then the Simisear does, and again has the same ability. I believe it does 190, which is pretty strong. Vanillux here has its ability that assists your opponent with your opponent's Pokemon with 40 HP or less can attack. How useful is this? It's a little situational, but can be used to kind of stall your opponent out. Porygon 2 is a card that is another Lost Zone card, doing 20 damage for each tool in the Lost Zone, both yours and your opponent's, which is kind of cool. Not really sure how good it is, but again, kind of cool. We do have Swoobat and Woobat. These cards are kind of different. Swoobat does 110 if you have the same number of cards in your hand as your opponent. Noivern, I think, is also a card you can play, which does more. Or wait, no, sorry, Noivern. Wait, can you not play Noivern? Maybe you can't. Oh, never mind. You cannot play Noivern, so forget that. So this is like Noivern. It's like worse, I guess, but it's kind of interesting. Then you have Woobat. This one, if you have no cards in hand, you can do 30 spread to each of your opponent's Pokemon. So it's kind of like the Uxie, kind of like the Kricketune. Actually, it's pretty similar there. So a really fun card there, in my opinion. Oh, I found the Wattrel with United Wings. Then we have Crabominable, which does attacks cheaper for each Kofu when you discard, and there is also another Pokemon, I think it's a Veluza or something. They're okay. They're not insane, but they're kind of fun. If you want to try them out, try them out. I also have Spindo, which does 10 to everything and confuses your opponent's active. So another spread card. It's all right. I've actually played this one Standard a little bit, and it's not insane, but it's all right. Then we have a Zelf, which does 10 more for each damage counter on all your opponent's Pokemon. This can be really strong. Realistically, probably not what you want for the spread box, but it could be good theoretically if your opponent is a tanky deck. We do have the Stonjourner, and then we have Kirlia. We do have a couple of trainers here, though, which I do want to talk about. We have Flyinium Z and Misty and Lorelei. This is a deck that I covered on my channel, and it is a really fun deck. And actually, the game I played was pretty cool as well. It was against Festival Lead, and is actually, I think, maybe the only like actual good deck I've played against in the format, but it's a really fun game, really close one as well. And this attack is for 4 colorless, you do 180, and you're immune to all damage and effects of attacks next turn. And that may sound broken, and it is, because it's an attack you can only use once per game, and only can use this attack if the tool is attached to a Pokemon with Sky Strike or no, with Air Slash. There's a few Pokemon that have that attack. I don't know what all of them are, but I know that there is one which is really meaningful, which is a Swan, which is a Stage 1 Water Pokemon. Then you have Misty and Lorelei. Misty and Lorelei says that you search your deck for 3 Water Energies. I played this, and I didn't play any Water Energies, but you could. And then when you play this card, you can discard 5 other cards from your hand. If you do, your Water Pokemon, which is your Swanna, can use their GX attacks again, even if you have used your GX attack. Also, like this format, it's commons and uncommons only, so no one else is playing with GX attacks, but it's like really funny to do so. And then you can use it again. You can theoretically use it every turn, but you need to recover lots of cards. I used Misty in Misty's favor, which does search out supporters. There is some validity to that, but now that I think about it, there was also the Snorlax with the ability to recover the leftovers. Leftovers isn't like really doing anything. Misty's favor is a little bit better than leftovers for the deck. However, you can then recover 2. So I probably should have played the Snorlax. Yes, the Snorlax does have 4 retreat, which is like bad. It actually might be an issue, but it's still interesting. But overall, this combo is really funny, and I would actually really recommend you check out that video because it's a really funny deck. Honestly, it like gets a little boring when you get to like the middle stage of the game, but it is still really funny to use this attack over and over, and be cycling cards over and over. Overall, there's so many really cool decks from this format, though. Tell me down below what you think I should play next. I'm not really sure at the moment what I want to do, but there are, again, a lot of really, really fun combo ideas. But I hope you enjoyed. Consider liking and subscribing. And of course, tell me down below what you think of the format so far and what you think of the training trials as a whole so far as well. Unfortunately, we only get 1 week of this, which is really disappointing because this is, I don't know if it's the one I'm most excited for, but it's definitely one I am excited for. But I, as I said, am excited for it, and I hope you enjoyed. And as always, I'm excited to see you in the next video.